I'm Amber Skuren. I come from a very small village in Antwerp. I come from Berlaar. I studied at the KU Leuven history, and I went afterwards for 2 years for a master's degree to BU. And I must say, a lot of people were surprised that I was going to the United States, especially because I was a history major and I was specialized in European history. So what the heck should I do in the United States? But for me, it was an amazing experience. And the reason I wanted to go was because I thought that I had 4 years of a degree in Europe and I had seen all these events and phenomena from a European perspective. And I just thought that it would be really nice to get this American perspective and this American point of view, because we just look at history from different sides. And I thought it was really, really amazing to have that. And also, American universities are so multicultural. You meet people from different backgrounds, and that was something else that really attracted me about going to the United States. The application, in fact, was really hard, I thought, because we as Belgians, we don't like to boast about our qualities, and we're not used to it. And also, because we don't apply to universities or don't have to apply to university, we don't really know what to include and what not. And as a tip I can give you is some good advice is try to find people who wrote successful applications for an American university. That's what I did. I had a couple of friends who went before, but it's also important that you take, well, people or at least applications in your own field, because all my friends went to engineering schools. And I figured out it was kind of different for humanities, because in humanities you really have to be focused. You really have to know what you're going to do, what professor you want to study it, what subject you want to do. If you go for a PhD, you need really a thesis topic, and it outlines how you're going to get there. So I think it's a good advice to try to find people who have written successful applications. Then there is the GRE, which is not that easy also. The GRE, well, it's 3 parts. It's the verbal part, which is really, really hard because it's not standard English, not at all. It's English words you've never heard of, you don't hear on TV, you don't learn in class. I mean. The quantitative part is easier, I thought, especially because it's not that important in humanities. And also, well, if you know like these basic math formulas such as the area of a circle, you're good. I know you can prepare by learning all these words by heart. Well, I didn't do it. I just took some of the practice tests online and just hoped and prayed. Well, it turned out rather well for me. So I think as long as you stay focused on the test, and I also thought that my Latin and my French background really helped me. So definitely, if you just try some of the practice tests, you will probably do fine. I applied to 4 universities, which was BU, so Boston University, Boston College, Berkeley, and Stanford. The first reason I applied there was because of the programs, of course, because they looked at history from a very interesting point of view. In that sense, I like to do international relations. And in Belgium, I could only do it in the social and political sciences. So what I liked is that I could do international relations from a history point of view, and there were very strong programs at these universities. But honestly, there was also a personal reason. I've been to Boston and to the Bay Area before, which I really liked it, both areas in fact. And what I did before I finally went is I went to visit the campus. And when I was at BU, I talked to graduate students, I talked to professors, I had a view of the city. And when I returned, I just knew that I would be happy not only as a student, but also as a person. Because being away from home for a year or even more, it's not that easy. You know, you're far from your friends and your family, and it's very important that you feel good as a person and not only as a student. I think the best experiences I had at BU, far was the best, was my my relations with the other graduate students. We were a very close-knit group. We helped each other, we stimulated each other, we were happy for each other when somebody did, you know, reached a milestone such as passing his orals or something. We went for drinks every Thursday night, and I still have a lot of good contacts with these people on Facebook. But also, I'm even returning to Boston in September for a wedding of one of my friends. Another high point for me, at least, was the fact that I was a teaching fellow during my second year at BU. And even though it was very hard at the beginning, I mean, you're thrown into a swimming pool and you don't know how to swim because these students are so different from Belgian students. They're active, dynamic, they're critical, and they won't take I don't know for an answer. So if you don't know, you better look it up because they will ask you next session. But once I got a hang of it, I really liked it. It was just like, yeah, it was really great. I had to guide this discussion section. I had 81 students divided over 3 groups, and I so much liked it. It was an amazing experience. I had very good contacts with my students, and I think it was one of my best experiences at BU. I had both a Fulbright scholarship and one of the Belgian American Educational Foundations. So I thought I was good for my first year. I had when I left, I had $40,000. I thought, whoa, this is gonna be amazing. I'm gonna do all this stuff. But after you pay tuition, you're almost broke. And then there's renting an apartment, there's eating healthy food, which is really expensive in the United States. There's paying for books. Well, I can just tell you that you won't be able to fund your first year with just a scholarship. You need some money to fall back on, because before you know, you will be broke. Well, at least it was in my case, and I didn't think that I was so much a big spender. So I think it is important that when you apply to a program and when you actually tell the school that you will come, that you get very well informed about possibilities on working on campus. Some universities offer on-campus jobs or a teaching assistantship or a teaching fellowship, as was the case at BU. So I think it's really important that you inform well, because funding is always a problem. Well, for me at least, Fulbright and the United States was an amazing experience, because not only because the experience there, but also afterwards. First of all, Fulbright is really a community of people. They organize a lot of things in the United States, so you can meet other people. You're never really alone because you have this community feeling. The same thing is true for when you return to Belgium. I thought the idea of a reverse culture shock was just non-existent, but it is. You're so used to America, to the American culture, and you will miss it because you won't have people around, or not many people around, to talk about your experiences. And that was what I liked so much about Fulbright, is they keep on organizing events when you're back in Belgium, so you still have this community feeling and you really feel part of something. And also when you're in the United States, Fulbright just opened doors. Everybody knows it, everybody will appreciate for it, because they know what kind of people they pick for a program, who they select, what kind of capacities you have. And I think it really had, well, for my career, it must have been really important. I'm now doing a PhD at the University of Leuven, but I'm currently working at the National Archives in Brussels. And I got a federal fellowship for that. And I know when I talked to one of the jury members, she told me that I got the federal grant, which, I mean, it's pretty selective because they only give like 3 every year. When I got the grant, she told me that because I was a Fulbrighter and because I went to the United States, I really stood out among the other candidates. And I'm sure that if I want to go into academia, which I'm thinking about, because I like research so much, I like the teaching so much, it will only help me because it makes me, well, special. It makes me stand out at least.